Welcome. This is the Ag Engineering Podcast, where we talk tools, tips, and techniques to improve the sustainability of your farm. I am your host, Andy Chamberlain from the University of Vermont Extension, and this podcast is supported by Northeast SARE, providing grants and education to advance innovation in sustainable agriculture. We're trying to improve the industry by chatting with farmers and getting their input on tools, tips, or techniques that have changed the way they farm for good. Many of these practices affect multiple areas of the farm. Whether it be environmentally, emotionally, physically, or financially, we share the knowledge to promote sustainable agriculture, lifestyle, and business. Thanks for having a listen. Now, let's get started. Today's episode comes to you from Granville, Vermont, where I talk with John Hirsch of Clearfield Farm. This was recorded during a farm visit back last summer, where he was explaining how he uses an ATV fertilizer spreader on the back of his cultivating tractor for a single pass system. Now, the benefit to this is it's a $150 spreader, which is pretty darn cheap, and that allows him to really save his money and spend it on things that have a bigger impact on his farm, like his seeding equipment. So that's what we talk about in this conversation. Another thing is, if this sounds interesting to you, you can watch the whole thing. I recorded it on video, so you can watch this on our YouTube channel or find that via our website at agengepodcast.com. So, here's the conversation with John.
I'm John. I own Clearfield Farm. We're here in Granville, Vermont. We do about 8 or 10 acres of certified organic vegetables. A little bit of cut flowers. Well, this is our 1970 International Harvester Cub with cultivators, and this is a four-wheeler spreader that I use for spreading fertilizer. This is $99 on eBay. I've used it. This is the second season I've used this. It's got just the regular, chute adjustment that you'd use if you had one of these on the back of your four-wheeler. I don't have the little hand adjustment for it anymore, because when I first had this thing set up, I actually had it mounted on the bucket of our 59 International Harvester, which had a trip bucket, so it wasn't really good. So I had it bolted here, putting stuff in the bucket and dumping it out here. So I just had this set on there.
Oh, right, because it has like that kind of fork to go on the rack.
Yeah, whenever we needed to spread some fertilizer, it was already hitched up, ready to go. But now on this, it makes it really nice, because
if I were trying to keep this tractor nice, I probably wouldn't have done it.
The other International for fertilizing,
you put it.
I've done cultivating, or vice versa. If I want to spread fertilizer then cultivate, I can do it all in one pass with this thing. So the worst thing about these is the switches go bad. So this is like 2 days ago, I had to replace the little on-off switch for the motor on it, because here, I'll just turn it on quick. And this is just clamped to the battery. Just like it's a four-wheeler spreader. It's set up to run off a four-wheeler. But I built this little rack on the back here, which has some angle iron that bolts onto the seat bracket, which this I'm also going to use for, we have a sprayer over here. I don't know if you see that. Sorry, we get a lot of junk around here.
Yeah.
So this sprayer, I actually had this mounted to the rear cultivator arms on this last year, but it was falling off all the time, wasn't working right. So now this I can just put up right on top of here when I take this thing off.
Right on that little deck.
Right on this little deck, yeah. I don't have to, I really don't have to mess with much. Just take these couple of U-bolts off, and then that's about it. So it's pretty easy. I don't do a lot of spraying. I actually haven't sprayed anything this year yet, and we're in August, so we're getting a little bit of Colorado potato beetle pressure, so I may take care of that with the sprayer. But other than that, this is low dollar stuff. This was $100. The sprayer was $160.
And it fits your scale.
Fits our scale. fits, honestly, you could do, what do I do with this thing? I could probably do like an acre in probably like 40 minutes, something like that. If you have all the bags ready to go, because most of the time when you're fertilizing, you're doing a couple 100 pounds of the acre at least. So, and that depends on where you're at in the season. If you're doing your pre-season fertilization, you'll use more. I'm doing a lot of side dressing now, so I don't use as much.
And you just throw the bags on the deck behind the seat there too?
So I can fit one bag here, one bag next to my feet, so I can do like 100 pounds at a time. What I really want to get into is bringing over a skid of fertilizer to where I need it with this tractor with forks. Which again, these forks, this is an eBay set of what are they? They're called Titan attachment forks, and these are $100 shipped. They clamp onto your bucket. They sometimes come loose, but the beauty of them is that they come off, so you don't need to have your, you don't need to take your bucket off to put on a special set of quick attach forks that cost X amount of dollars. You get your $99 shipped forks, clamp them on, and away you go. And just by telling people where I got them and how much they were, I probably sold, Christ, they owe me some money, how much I've sold these, just, by telling people how great they are.
Now the downside is you can't see the tips very well.
You can't see the tips, but these are the shorter ones. So they sell, this is a 30-inch, and they also sell a 43-inch. The problem that I've heard about the 43-inch is that it puts a lot of stress on your bucket, so it could bow the middle of your bucket into like a convex. But if you weren't lifting things that heavy, I'm sure it could work.
Right, if you're not moving full pallets of fertilizer, then you're all right.
Yeah, and this tractor will lift, I think, 800 pounds. So if you need to be lifting more than that, you should really get a bigger tractor or a beefier fork setup. Just a couple of cheapy pieces of equipment, and it really makes a lot of operations that we do around here more efficient. And then we have money to spend on things like we've got our Jang 6-row seeder. If we were spending a lot of money on all this other stuff, we couldn't have bought this. And this is how we do our wholesale accounts. We seed carrots and beets. Well, I seed carrots with this, and then I run this exact setup without seed in it over our beds that we're going to do beets in, and then I just plant right over the the lines that the seeder is made.
Oh, so you use it to dibble your lines?
Yeah, exactly. And then I can run over that with the Earthway, and now I have all of my wholesale roots set up at the same spacing, so I don't need to adjust my cultivators. It's got the 3-point hitch kit on it. So yeah, like if I were to spend whatever $800 on a fertilizer spreader, or $1,000 on a sprayer, we're just taking money away from things that really make us more money.
Yeah, more essential equipment.
Right, yeah, like the fertilizer spreader. Yeah, that makes us money because we can't grow things without fertilizing them.
And then you just put this on the John Deere here?
Yeah, I put it around the John Deere.
Sweet.
Yeah, and this has a 30-inch. Actually, I think it's like 29 3/4-inch spacing from this tread to that tread. So it fits our 30-inch spacing, our 30-inch spaced beds. Actually, what our carrots and beets are planted on is really like a 28-inch bed top that's hilled at about 6 to 7 inches, and that's just for our harvesting equipment. But yeah, this thing's great if you want to economize your seed. If you want to put a lot of seed down, like if you're thinking about getting something like this for salad, it hasn't really worked out so well for us for salad. So actually, we use this for salad. Actually, we use this for our weekly seeding. Other than beans and beets, we seed just about everything with this, because this is the Johnny's 4-row seeder, and it's got 4 different size holes. So this one we use for the Hakurai salad turnips. That's for radishes. This is for baby lettuce. So we put quite a bit of seed down. And the largest one is for baby kale. And then some of the smaller seeded mustards like arugula and whatever, scarlet frills or ruby streaks, whatever you're using. That's the, we use that for, so it would be lettuce, small seeded mustards, that sort of thing.
How much is that tool?
This is $250.
Seems like a good investment.
Oh my God, this thing's great. I used to do all of our salad seeding with the Earthway and the fine seed plate. And I don't even put that seed plate on anymore. This thing is just so much better. So before we were actually using this to put down our salad turnips, because this you can set. I've got the spacing set up right now for 1.5 inches, and that gives us our 1.5 to 2 inch carrots. It gives us perfect spacing for big salad turnips, which seem to be more popular than small ones. But this is a pain to hook up if you want to plant salad turnips every week and you don't have enough tractors to leave this thing on every week. Or leave it on enough so that you're not switching equipment in and out. So we get much more use out of keeping the 3-point hitch tiller on than we do keeping this on. So then that replaces this for our weekly seeding, but there's not much that can replace this for our wholesale seeding. And this is like it's like a $2,800 setup here, so certainly not as much as you could spend on seeding equipment, but we've got 1 acre of carrots planted with this. This thing's probably got maybe 6 acres on it right now, and we've had it since 2017, and it's 2019 now. So, yeah, I think it's definitely paid for itself. We don't use every hopper either, which you could, I guess, but we find it better to do 2 to 3 at a time. Just because we're not planting salad mix with it, or radishes or anything like that. That we're using the Johnny's pinpoint seeder for.
Thanks for listening to today's episode. If you learned something today or plan to make a change on your farm, let me know. I'd love to receive any feedback you have. Just click the link in the description to submit the form. It will help the future of this podcast to be a resource that is helpful for you. And while you're at it, I hope you go ahead and subscribe, share this with a friend, or leave a comment. And if you want more information, check out the show notes on our website at agengpodcast.com. That's agengpodcast.com. Thanks for listening, and I hope you have a great day.
The proceeding has been a production of University of Vermont Extension. For more information on Extension, log on to www.uvm.edu/extension.